blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in.
All aboard the struggle bus! What's going on, Rangers fans? My name is Jimmy Fanizzi, and this is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by Game Time. I hope you're having a wonderful day and hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you live in the good old US of A. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us on any and all topics at hand. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on all audio platforms, and be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. What do I even say for this month of November? I mean, it is December 2nd at the time of this recording. We are about 3 weeks away from Christmas. And also at the time of this episode, the Rangers begin their Hudson River rivalry tonight with the New Jersey Devils. And hopefully, this month of December will be much better than November was. Because last I left you, the Rangers started off November pretty good. 3-1-0. They beat Ottawa, they beat the Islanders, they lost to Buffalo, and they won in Detroit. Since then, they lost to the Winnipeg Jets at home, in which I streamed that game, and thank you to those who tuned into that game. Much appreciated. They beat the San Jose Sharks in a game that really should not have been that close. It was a 3-2 win, but you take the win anyway. Then you went into Seattle. You beat the Kraken 2-0. You went to Vancouver, and you beat them 4-3. You lost to Calgary 3-2. I also streamed that game as well. You got beat down by Edmonton 6-2 in Edmonton. You lost to St. Louis. You lost to Carolina. You lost to Philly. But you ended November on a high note by getting a last-second win against Montreal. A game in which they had a 3-1 lead, blew it, and then Capo Caco scores with about 24 seconds left, and the Rangers get a big win to end November. But the point I'm trying to make to you is this. Ever since I left you with a 3-1-0 record for November, the Rangers finished exactly 500 for the month of November. 7-7-0. Not what you want. It's not what you want, as Joe Girardi, former manager of the New York Yankees, used to say. It's not what you want. I know this team is better than this. And I really don't know what is going on with the team right now. I really don't. Now, the 5-game losing streak did not help their case. But even when they were winning games, their flaws were starting to show. And it was the same damn flaws that you were continuing to see over and over and over again for the past decade. They cannot shoot. Nor can they defend. I don't know what's worse. The fact that their defense is Swiss cheese, or the fact that they cannot score at all. What's worse? Because you need both to help out your goaltending, which is the reason why your record is where it is right now. And I'm not saying it's all the goaltenders' fault. The goaltenders are human. Yes, Igor and Quick are human. Quick was not going to go undefeated. We all knew that. And yes, I know Igor has not looked great recently, but I still think he's looked good enough to help you win a game. This team cannot help their goaltending for the life of them. And I think their flaws got worse after the 6-1 loss to the Buffalo Sabres, in which Shesterkin got pulled for Jonathan Quick. That showed me that, oh, wow, this is the same old Rangers formula that continues to not work. It's getting tiresome, and I'm sick of it. I don't know what has to change, but Something has to. What I've seen the entire month of November from this team is a team that looks like they quit. That looked like they didn't even want to be on the ice. They checked out. They don't want to play for their head coach. Nobody is stepping up to defend somebody who is getting quadruple teamed a la Artemi Panarin against the Flyers, and it took them 5 minutes to go over there and defend the guy. Like, what is that? What is that? There's no excuse for that. If somebody's getting jostled at, you go over there and defend them. You kick their ass. That's what you do. You're his teammate. You don't leave him standing there, leaving him high to dry with 4 guys beating up on him. There's no excuse for that at all. There's no leadership right now on this team either. Nobody is stepping up. The veterans look terrible. Kreider, I get he was coming back from injury, but he doesn't look like himself. Zibanejad has looked awful. Trouba's looked awful. Keandre Miller, I know he's young, but he is still considered a young veteran. He's looked awful. Something has got to give with these veteran players. I don't understand why there is no accountability when it comes to these veteran players. But yet, when a rookie makes a mistake, oh, we're going to bench you. You'll learn from your mistake then. No! When a rookie makes a mistake, you send their ass back on the ice and let them correct themselves. Let them learn from their mistakes. Give them a chance. Benching them is going to destroy their confidence. It's going to make them think, oh, I can't really do this. I'm not cut out for this league. Is that what you want them to think? If that's the case, then send them back down to the minors. And speaking of sending players down and up and down and up, I think you know where I'm going. Matt Rempe. Look, I like the kid. I think he has potential in this league. But when I saw that hit by Rempe on, I forget the player's name, but it was against the St. Louis Blues. When I saw that hit, I said to myself, trade him immediately. I know that might be a hot take for some, but if he's going to keep doing stuff like this, and I understand that he's an enforcer, it's something the Rangers are missing. I completely get it. But if you're going to, A, keep sending him up and down, over and over and over again, and B, if he's going to continue to be reckless like this, just trade him. Or keep him in the minors until he can prove himself. Because by sending him up and down constantly, you are destroying this kid's confidence. Same thing goes for when you bench rookies for making mistakes. You cannot keep doing this. This is a problem with player development, and it's something that is plaguing the Rangers and has been plaguing them for quite a while, and I am sick of it happening. Oh, and can we also point out the fact, going back to the defense for a sec, that how did it get worse under Phil Housley? Can somebody explain that to me? The amount of times that I've seen this team just standing around when the other team's trying to get set up on the power play or 5-on-5, or they have trouble getting it out of the zone. They're just standing there playing freaking tiddlywinks and not doing a damn thing. Not to mention that they're not helping a goaltender. I'm sorry, I still cannot get over that. I'm sorry. That's been my number one complaint with this team for a decade, other than their shooting ability. This team cannot defend to save their lives right now. They can't. And when it comes to shooting, dear God, I mean, okay. I need a little bit of a break, but we'll break down how bad the Rangers' offense has been after this word from our sponsors. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can look at some future championship odds for this season, like the New York Rangers, who are at plus 1,000 to win it all. That might be something I'd go after, but that's just me. What you want to bet on is up to you. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved. I love the game of hockey. The chill of the ice, the hits along the boards, the massive saves, and of course, all the goals. But I can't help but think, ticket prices for hockey games are really expensive. Not with the Game Time app. Whether you're looking for seats behind the glass, courtside, opening night on Broadway, it does not matter. Game Time features Game Time picks to only filter the best deals for any event that you want. For example, Boston Bruins at the New York Rangers on January 2nd. Thanks to the Game Time picks feature, I'm able to save over $50 on my ticket purchase. You can't find that on any other ticketing app. But here's what I love most about the Game Time app. They have the ability to offer you tickets last minute for even better deals. Don't believe me? Well, you should download Game Time for yourself and find out. Take all the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time! Alright, we are back, and I've complained enough about the Rangers defensively. We know how bad it is right now. Let's talk about the offense for a little bit, shall we? I mean, look. I did some math. Shocking, I know. And the Rangers scored 38 goals total throughout the month of November. Now, if you compare that to the month of October, they scored a total of 37 goals. Now, you might say, oh, well, they scored one more goal than the month of October. That's all well and good. But when you see how the offense has looked when scoring those goals, some of those chances are not pretty. Now, you take them any way you can. But shouldn't quality matter? This team does not generate any quality offensive chances, and that worries me. When you're a team that has trouble setting up in their own zone, when you're a team that lets the opposition forecheck you so much to the point where it causes a turnover, when you're a team that just plays tiddlywinks in center ice and just lets the other team clog the neutral zone, that's not a good offense to me. I'm sorry, it's not. And when it comes to the power play, it was in the top 10. They were 6th in the league at one point. Coming into the month of December, they have dropped down to 11th in the league at 23.3%. You know who's number 1 right now? The New Jersey Devils at 33.7%. Really? This is a team that is supposed to be much better than what we are seeing right now. They are not playing good hockey right now. Now, the plus side is that their penalty kill is still in the top 3 in the league. They're second currently in the NHL at 87.7%. Only Nashville is better at number 1 at 89.0%. So, penalty kill still continues to be their strong suit. If you want to look at a couple more positives to look at for the Rangers amidst their struggles, one that really stands out to me is Will Cooley. I mean, dear God, this kid is on an absolute tear right now. What does he have, like 6 or 7 points in his last 10 games right now? I mean, Will Cooley is red hot right now. Panarin, despite his struggles, he continues to do whatever he can. Lafreniere is in a slump right now, but I still believe in him. But Will Cooley is definitely a positive. Their penalty kill has been a massive positive. And despite the fact that he lost recently, you gotta look at Jonathan Quick. I mean, once again, everybody thought Jonathan Quick was done. And the man is going to be 39 soon. And he's still doing stuff like this? A 4-1-0 record right now? I mean, dang. Dang, dang, dang. Correction, I meant to say Jonathan Quick has a 5-1-0 record, not 4-1-0, 5-1-0, so that's my bad. But even still, Quick has been a positive, the penalty kill has been a positive, and Will Cooley has been a massive positive. And you know who else has been a positive that nobody's really talking about? Capo Caco. Despite the fact that the Rangers' defense as a whole has been struggling, Capo Caco has been very underrated defensively. And he, quite frankly, has been the only young player that I've seen right now that's actually trying. Other than Alexis Lafreniere, I understand, and Will Cooley as well, I get that, but Capo Caco really, to me, is quietly having a good year, and nobody's talking about it. So, look, he still might get traded at the trade deadline or during the offseason, we'll see. But so far, I think Caco's been a pretty underrated bright spot amidst the Rangers' struggles, besides Will Cooley, the penalty kill, and Jonathan Quick. So if you want to point to any positives, those four, in my opinion, are the main positives you should be looking at. Other than that, this team should be playing a lot better than they are right now. They're not, and you pray that this does not continue, because if it does, they are in danger of missing the playoffs. And that would not be a good look for Sam Rosen, who's in his last year calling Ranger games. And do you really want to send him out on a whimper like that? Missing the playoffs? I don't think so. And I recently had a conversation with somebody on Instagram at FrankMill1575. Shout out to you, Frank. And he's a new follower of the show, so I appreciate that as well. It was when I posted the episode of how they were playing good in a competitive division, but there's still improvements. That was back on November 11th. That was the last episode before this one, when I said the defense was still Swiss cheese. And one of his comments was, or a couple of his comments was, so is the coach. People always say hold players accountable, but how? Bench them? Trade them? Look at the Oilers last year. They were playing like crap. New coach comes in and bang, one game from winning it all. That's an entirely different situation, my friend. Entirely different. Look, I had this conversation with Frank, and hey, we were very civil about it. He was very nice, and I commend him for that. He's not one of those fans, if you know what I mean. But I digress. Him and I had a pretty civil conversation, so shout out to Frank Mill, at Frank Mill with 1L, 1575. Go follow him if you wish. But it was a civil conversation, but I disagreed with him on one thing. The coach is not the problem. Peter Laviolette is miles away, not the problem here. I've said it over and over and over. At what point do we start pointing the finger at players for not doing their job? The Rangers have recycled coach after coach after coach, and nothing has changed as far as the players and the offensive scheme. Now, Laviolette's scheme worked offensively last year, but this year, the players just seem like they don't care. They don't care. They're not going out there and doing their jobs. They're playing uninspired. Now, does Peter Laviolette make some head-scratching lineup changes? Yes. But doesn't every coach do that? Peter Laviolette is not the problem. The veteran players are not stepping up. The defense is Swiss cheese. They cannot shoot. There are a plethora of other problems, and Peter Laviolette is not one of them. I'm sorry. Look, anybody out there who disagrees with me, that's totally fine. That's your right. You can let me know down below in the comments on YouTube or on social media at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats if you agree or disagree with me on that. But Peter Laviolette is not the problem with this Rangers team. Enough with blaming the coaches. Blame the players. Hold them accountable. Do something with these veterans who aren't stepping up. Especially Mika Zibanejad. He needs to be better. Look, bottom line is, I hope that the Rangers get better. That's really all I have to say. I mean, I don't know what has to happen. Maybe they do need to trade Jacob Trouba. Maybe they need to trade Keandre Miller. Maybe they need to trade another key piece to try and get better defensively. I don't know what has to be done. I really don't know. I'm not Chris Drury. I'm not in that front office. But something has to change. Something. This team is better than this. And right now, they're not playing like it. So to end this episode, what grade would I give the Rangers for the month of November? Well, I gave them an A- for October. But for this month, I would give them a D. A solid D. Because like I said, there are a couple of positives, like, again, Will Cooley, the penalty kill, Capo Caco, and Jonathan Quick. Other than that, this team looked like they didn't care this month. I hope it gets better, and I'm sure it will. I still think they're a playoff team, but for the month of November alone, I give them a solid D. All right, Ranger fans, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you smash that like button on YouTube and subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified of all new episodes of the show. Also, drop a comment on YouTube letting me know your thoughts on what I discussed. What grade would you give the Rangers for the month of November, and what do you think needs to change for them going into these next few months of the season? Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSeats94, and let us know what you think on there as well. And use the hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us there as well. And one more reminder, we are sponsored by Game Time. Take all the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time picks. Download the app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Oh, and one more thing. This Sunday, December 8th, I will be in attendance for Rangers versus the Kraken at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at MSG. I will be in section 221, row 18. If you see me there, please feel free to stop me and say hello. I would love to interact with you. I cannot wait to be back at the Garden once again this season. I'm Jimmy Fanizzi. This is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Go Blue Shirts! Hopefully things get better, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!